carpet. Y'all ready? I am the seed that grows and advances the kingdom for soul winning. This word, bread of life, that I received today, not only for me, but to be shared with others, that they may grow in Christ as well as myself for the purpose of successful living. Thank you. You may be seated. I want to welcome all of you in. This evening, we're here at the Greenwood campus. I want to welcome those in from the Greenville campus and to our virtual campus and to our global partners. I want to take this opportunity to say good afternoon, happy day to you. Hope all is well. I used to do the church anthem quite often and kind of got away from it, and I think we need to, because there's so many things that are happening within our culture, our country, our society, and our nation, and in the world, and in the lives of people and people that we know, and present believers and people who want to be believers. And so I think I need to go back to that, and if you guys could help remind me of that. I want to take a moment and offer our condolences to our brother. One of actually our first virtual campus member is Brother Ray Simmons, who's up in Ohio. He called me and he lost his sister to some health challenges. So I want you as a church family and as a virtual family to remember Ray Simmons and his family in prayer, that they can be able to make it through these difficult times. And we have people in-house that are sick. I was reading earlier today that a school bus was hit, and I believe it was Greenville County, Greenville or Anderson. No, it was Greenville. And how that someone decided to make a left turn and T-bone the school bus. And the high schoolers, many of them, I think it was 3 or more, had to go to the hospital, because we're moving at such a pace that sometime just a couple of seconds can make a difference between life and death, sickness and in health. And then I just found out we have another person, Nikki. I don't know if she ever married, but I remember her as Nikki Arnold. And I think they call her what, Michelle? They call her Michelle. Nichelle. But I just know as Nikki, she used to work with me back in the day, and she's in intensive care. So we want you to remember those, and all names that we did not call. It's a time in our world where it's like we need to pray, but prayer isn't the first thing that comes to our mind. The first thing that comes to our mind is a reaction, and to know why. And there's some things that happen that we would never know why, but we're responsible for praying for people. And, you know, people, there are those that say that prayer doesn't work, and there are those that say, well, if you just do this and this. And so it kind of leads us to where we are and what we're going to talk about this evening. But just a couple housekeeping things. We know coming up this fourth Sunday, we're going to have College Day, fourth Sunday, October the 24th. We're trying diligently to find an opportunity to be able to serve the college students, and that has been challenging. And so hopefully by Friday or by Sunday, we would know something. We don't have enough human capital to be able to do something within ourselves, because those that are here with us are generally doing 5 and 7 things themselves. So then to try to take on an additional 35, 40, or 50 students, along with whatever capacity that we have on Sundays, we're kind of short on human capital. So if you're looking for a place to serve, you want to serve, and I always tell people, it's, you know, and I know this is going to be tight and probably offensive to some people, it's never about leadership. It's always about God. God first, his people, and we have the privilege to serve. And so I always say, whatever we do, whatever you do, we should do it in the spirit of excellence. So we're going to have College Day. It's something that we want to try to bring in. We're going to have the minorities on the move. They're going to be here. And we are still looking for musicians. So if you know someone that is a musician, please have them get in touch with us. Simple number, 864-671-0030. I'd like to have musicians on that day. I think they said that they are short of musicians as well. But they're coming to be in service with us. And so that is an education day. And we have this coming Sunday, the Talk with the Doctor. And a lot of people do chime in on social media. But nothing is better and nothing is more effective than being present. And we do practice social distancing. We do have a thermometer to check temperatures. We do have masks and people wear masks. So don't hesitate to take the opportunity to come. Service begins at 10:45. We're normally done by 11:55, 12:05. So that won't hurt you. If you can go out and get gas, you can come by and spend a few minutes in worship. The other thing is we have the 3 for 3 campaign, which you will see on our social media. And we, this quarter, in the the fourth quarter, we're supporting the food bank, Adopt a School, and we just picked up a school in Greenville County, and we have one in Greenwood, and we have one in Greenville. And Shoes for Africa. What we're trying to do is create resources so that we can do things on a broader scale. And we haven't forgotten about missions to Haiti or works in Haiti. We have those, but we're going to do this for 3 months. And what it is you can go to the website, houseofreconciliation.org, or you can go to Cash App and look up Greenville House, or you can go to PayPal and you can use Givelify, House of Reconciliation, and all of your donations, 100%. And what I encourage people to do was to make a list of 5 to 10 people that you can ask to help support these ministries that we support, because ministry is about service. And so whatever your prayers are, whatever you're seeking God for, what have you done to water your seed in life? And who are you sharing with? And I hear it all the time. Well, I don't have anything myself. Yes, you do. You have a heart. You have compassion. You have the ability to love. You have the ability to share. Everything isn't about power and control and dominance. And we, supposed to be the people of God, are the first to be able to reach out. And understand, some people had nothing to do with their situation. I'm seeing even professional people that are homeless, sleeping in the office, driving a nice car, but something went wrong. And it's not so much to know what went wrong as it is to help people get it right. We all, well, now maybe not you, but I can speak for me, have had dark times and have been in dark places in their life. And there's nothing wrong with a hand up, but it is challenging to give a hand out when people don't have their own best interests at heart. I had a chance to talk to what I call one of my young brainiacs, and I also had a chance to talk to the producers, and my numbers are a little weak. I'd say more than a little weak in the age group of 18 to 24. So what I want to do sometime in this month or by the first of next month is to have some, they call them Generation Z, have some Generation Z young people, 16 to 24, come in and let's just have a talk. Let's have a conversation. How do you see the world? How do you see your future? And where do you think you fit in? And so if you feel like you're bright, intelligent, and don't mind being on a national and international broadcast with me, please don't hesitate. Hit us up on social media. I believe, have Instagram, we have Facebook, we have YouTube. Get in touch and let us know. And someone will definitely talk to you and see if it's feasible. Because what it's not a wild dog show now. We can't just be wilding it out. I'll leave that to those people. But we actually talk. I'd love to have some college students and talk about what it's like to go to college and what is peer pressure like. And I don't have a problem with people asking the questions. how does God fit my life now? You know, the generations we have now, I was talking with someone earlier, and we were sharing a conversation about not being prepared. And I said, I have nothing against it, electronics, but what electronics do is they occupy and steal time. Social skills, communication, engagement, all that's over with when you are trapped all day on artificial intelligence. You're winning a game and losing that life. So I welcome you, encourage you, because I'm 60, so I know a little something, don't know everything, but I would like to try to bridge the gap because, and I've said it, I've seen it my whole life. They grow up, they're in church, and then they're gone. But then there are those ministries that have bridge programs. And sometimes as we as adults are so conceived in doing things ourselves that we don't have any room or space for younger generations. And I believe to really be effective, they need to have their own style of praise and worship. They need to be able to do things that they're comfortable with, because you don't do what your mama did. I was talking with someone and their mother was in there and she was listening to some YouTube and some old spirituals. Y'all know what I'm saying? And great-great-grandmother was in there having a ball. I said, y'all bring the Baptist church on up from McCormick and we're going to tie it in and we're going to be Baptists in the first part of the service. And then at the second part of the service, the last 45 minutes, we're going to be spirit-filled. And so her mother was having a good time. So we have to understand that they don't think the way we think and they don't see the world the way we see the world. So we have to create these bridges that we're able to effectively communicate and find out what they need and what they expect, because they do have value. Does that make sense? So this evening we're going to talk about, I think I did most of my house cleaning. We're going to talk about this evening the voice of me. Because we kind of stuck and perplexed with, why can't I hear? Why am I dealing with this? Another thought we had is, I'm stuck on me. Why am I stuck on me? I want my life to progress, but there's something that's holding me back. Or could it be something that I'm holding on to because of my own thoughts in my head? So where we base this from is, I want you to write this down. The first one is Proverbs 3, 5, and 6. And I'm going to read this to you once they put it up, because this is how we veer to me, the voice of me. The first word here in Proverbs 3 and 5 is a problem. It's a game changer. It's a roadblock. It's a hindrance. And the word is trust. Let me give you something. This cannot be applied if we still have this narrative. Everyone in here and everyone that's a part of the Greenville campus, the Greenwood campus, our virtual campus, everybody wants results. But less than a fraction of a percent will accept change. Sometimes the results that you want requires change. Well, that's the problem. Because I don't trust anybody outside of me. I believe what my mind and my thoughts tell me. See, because when the enemy makes you think that you have all the answers for the challenges and opportunities in your life, he's just separated you from the world. He's separate. And here's the thing. And this is a term, I'll throw this one out there. This is where the triggers begin. And triggers lead to violent coaching. Because you have no experience. All you have is what's going on in your head. I said this to people and they didn't believe me until some of them experienced it. You can say something to a person. And I can say something to each one of you in here, and I can give you one word, and we could go around the room and everybody say it, but it won't come back the way it went out. Something within the transmitting of the Spirit, it was interpreted differently. And many people are failing and stuck because of the voices in their head. The voice of me. I don't trust anybody outside of me. Whatever my mind says, I believe. Some will go as far as to whatever they hear. And let me give you a couple of thoughts here. They never validate it. They never check the source. It's just whatever comes out of somebody's mouth, they believe it. These are the tools, is how nations have been overthrown because of a word or a sentence. Someone else's interpretation. And many believers, and I'm not talking about what we call worldly people and people that don't love God. I'm talking about people that go to church every Sunday, many times doing midweek service. It isn't, let me make it plain. It isn't about you can or you can't. It starts with trust. And sometimes we don't trust ourselves. And then this is what one of my young brainiacs said to me. Get the monkeys off your back because they're still telling you lies. Everyone that you trust is not spiritual. And everyone that you don't trust, some of them are spiritual. I'll give you another one. You can't believe everything your eyes see. Ask me why. You're seeing it, but you didn't see it from its beginning. You can't hear everything. I used this analysis before. Shrek, in the movie. When Fiona and Donkey was in the, shoe house or tree house and having a conversation, Shrek had gone and picked a flower for Fiona. And when he was taking the flower to Fiona, he heard the third phase of the conversation. So he got upset because she said, who could love an ugly ogre? So he automatically assumed that she was talking about him when he didn't know the first phase was she was an ogre herself. So he threw the flower down, went and got the little midget king, brought him back, and she was supposed to marry him. And it took Donkey to have to sit down and go from the beginning to the point, and that's what gave him hope. See, sometimes people intentionally misinform people because guess what? They know you're going to respond out of your simplest packages in life, feelings and emotion. And when feelings and emotions get involved, now you have low self-esteem, you have a lack spirit, you now lose energy because of what somebody said that somebody said that somebody didn't do. There you are with all those gifts and talents in your hand. But here's the point. You don't have any trust. You want to fix your life, but you have to ask yourself, who was the one that got my life off track? What got me off track? Can I be honest with you all? Was my own feelings. How I viewed the situation. Because what you heard was not the whole truth. You heard a version. You heard someone else's version, and you took it as solid, and you took off with it. Because we have trust issues. There's not a person that's listening to me. We have levels of trust issue. And so in Proverbs 3 and 5, the first word it says is trust. In who? With what? Oh no, Jesus. I will trust you with grandma, grandpa. I will trust you with baby. I almost said something. I will trust you with certain things. But Jesus, I can't trust you with everything. I can't trust you, Jesus, with my heart. Do anybody know why? Your heart, your destiny, and your flesh is never in agreement. What your heart wants many times will kill your destiny. What your flesh desires many times will keep you from the path of destiny. Because we all like eye candy, but we don't see the whole in the eye candy. We fall in love and in lust with 2%. Ask me what that 2% is. They look good and they sound good. Guess what we don't have? History. Guess what else we don't have? Real life situations. Can I tell you all a story? I was single. I was doing hair. There was this lady. She worked for a major company, and for some reason, I don't know, she liked me, and I said, well, I'm going up here to buy a book. And she says, oh, well, let's go together. Now, mind you, I was single now. I don't want y'all to start nothing. So we went up to Barnes & Noble. She was cute. Okay? She was educated. She was nice. She drove a nice car. I was going to buy a book. I can't even remember what book I was going to buy. But I remember what happened is she went and bought a book, and I had my book, and she was 3 people in line ahead of me. And I saw the other side. There was a sign that said, if you are a certified teacher and you have your teacher's credentials, you can get 15% off of the book. She was a Sunday school teacher. Y'all not looking well. And she showed out. There you go. See, if you don't, you have to have experience, and you have to go through situations, because what you see ain't who they are. You got to see the ugly side. You got to see the side with the buck teeth. You got to see that side. And she went off. She started beating on the counter. She started cursing. I'm 3 people behind her. Now, mind you, we rode in separate cars. Guess who left? I went on around the corner. And she was up there slamming the book down. I left my book and everything. And when she came back to the shop, she said, what happened to you? I said, I had a call. Forgive me, Lord. I don't know if I asked forgiveness for that lie, but I didn't know who she was. So you don't know a person until you go through difficult times. You don't know how he or she is going to respond until they have to deal with life and life situations. She was cute. She was nice. And I think I saw her 30 years later. She had some kind of sickness. And she said, hey, Reggie. First of all, I was like, okay, she know me. And she's like, you don't remember me. And I was like, well, madam, I mean, I've seen a lot of people, but, we all change. I said, at one point I had hair. She said, no, I remember. Remember when we went to Barnes and Nobles? My eyes got big. Well, at that point, she had got some kind of sickness, and she had probably lost 100 and some pounds. And she was working, I think that time, for the county. I said, oh, how you doing? Now, mind you, I'm the one that ran out of Barnes and Noble. So you don't know. And so God says, compare trust in me through your faith and through my testimony. Because here's the thing. We want results from God, but we don't want to build a relationship with God. We'll accept the blessings, but we overlook, I think it's John, where he talks about he pruneth every branch in me. So we don't want the pruning. So the relationship can't be strong until the bond of the relationship is bigger than the situation in the relationship. Now, somebody need to write that one down. See, because what Jesus is saying, if you trust me, we will have a bond. So even when I don't answer your prayer, not because I want to withhold it from you, but sometimes you're not in a position for what you're asking for. It will overwhelm you. So what we do is we say, forget you, God. Bye, player. I know somebody that will let me finance a car. Every branch in me that beareth not fruit. See, this is the thing we can't understand. This is what the enemy does and plays race and all of this and size and shape and color and texture. He says, you are supposed to be fruitful. God didn't make you to be poor. God didn't make you to be helpless or fearful. God didn't make you for you to stay at home in your own little world and let the little monkeys in your head talk to you. That monkeys is not my word. That came from the media team. So when y'all start slanging mud, don't be slanging none up here at me. That came from my media team ducking now. They said, get the monkey off your back because they still telling lies. And that came through the conversation as imps and spirits will get in between. Where's that scripture where it says that when one enters in, it goes back and gets 7 more wicked than itself? The first thing Satan does is he cuts off your ability to hear. And then he fools you with sight. This look like it's gonna work. He look like he good. She look like she good. Then goeth he and taking, this is in Matthew what now? 12:45. Then goeth he and taketh with himself 7 other spirits more wickeder than himself. Satan surrounds us and causes you and I not to trust God. You don't need to go to church. Stay home. You won't say that when it comes to work time. I got to go in. I know I don't feel good. I ain't had much sleep, but I got to go do these 10. And can't stay in service for 1 hour, but can watch a football game and a baseball game. And Lord, don't let them go into extra innings. And don't let it be a love story. Oh, I got to show. And I wait right there through the commercial. And won't wait on God to assign an angel to your situation. Won't wait on God, because the easiest response, and this is where we got to, if your test can be addressed with our feelings and emotion, then it's not a test of change. I'll say it again. If the test that you and I can be addressed with our feelings and emotions, and I need to add in here, with the voices of others, then it's not a test of change. The test of change will cause one to pour on their cognition, concentration, intellect, intelligence, that will lead them to spiritual insight. And so on that particular day, the lady that wanted to go to Barnes & Noble with me, I had saw her in the shop probably 15, 20 times. She was going to a friend of mine because they worked at the same company. And she'd come down and wave, and I, just wave, and, and then I was going to do something. So I got to run. She said, where are you going? So I got to go get a book. Oh, I'll go with you. And they had already told me she liked me. And she was cute. But that other side, this is when we're blinded by our own sight. So let's go back to trust in the Lord. I think it's Proverbs 3 and 5. So then it's the voice of me. It said, trust in the Lord with what? But we don't trust God on rainy days. We don't trust God in the germination stage. We really don't trust God in the planting stage. See, sometimes God has to remove you from what you're familiar with and put you in a place that He has the largest portion of your attention. Because how we come out of Proverbs 11 and 1 is when we don't do this, it creates a false balance. Put that back up for me real quick. And see, here's the thing. I think there's another scripture, but we're going to finish this one. Here's the thing. It says, above all things, get your understanding. Look for that scripture. But listen to what it says. Trust in the Lord. And I talked about 2 words this year that we need to learn. Because we say we're believers. We say that we've turned our life over to Christ. But many of us don't trust God. Because we think God has forgotten us because we see what everybody else has. We didn't see their beginning. We didn't see his or her development. We didn't see that company being small for 10 or 15 years. We didn't see that. We didn't see that cutting lawns would take me 10 years to be able to get my first contract. We didn't see that. We didn't see that baking pies may take 10 years and I may get 9 years of rejecting, but on that one day that I change one ingredient or add more to it, now my pies can be marketed. We don't see that. See, we're so quick to jump out of training with God and developing with God. And here's the caveat that we say, well, this is who I am. That is not who you're supposed to be. Who you are is not who you're supposed to be. Put me back up, because I feel this one. What you see and what you have now is only a shell of what you're supposed to become. And what you have done is taken a preliminary stage in your life and you have made it permanent. you didn't understand this was a transition. You didn't understand that this was a journey. You didn't understand that God intended for you to come out of this. Instead, you just adopted to failure. You adopted to negativity. You have birthed self-denial. And so now you reject your own possibilities. You reject the hand of God in your life. You are cursing your own destiny. You are refusing to be developed because what you see is not the finished product. The problem is you're so tender, you can't take any no's. You can't deal with rejection. You're too fickle. And so he says, lean not to how you feel. Some of us are quit and we were 2 steps away from the answer. Some of us took A when we should have waited on C. Because God hasn't forgotten you. God is about your full development. So he says, don't lean to the voices in your head. Don't lean to judging yourself. Don't lean. Well, look at them. They did this. That's them. An apple and an orange don't deliver fruit at the same time. Watermelons. The timing of a watermelon and the timing of a cantaloupe is completely different. You're trying to take your seed and make it like everybody else's seed, but yet you're trying to be different. I'm confused. There's some seeds that take years to come up. How many things have you walked away from? That you don't even remember where you left them. Because we live like this. If it won't do what I wanted to do when I wanted to do it, then I ain't gonna do it. But that didn't go over well. Is that not? If the answer doesn't come within the time that I set, now are you working in your time or are you working in God's time? Because what the enemy tells you and I is we can fix ourselves. We can fix ourselves. Ask me why. Because we listen to ourselves. And all you need is another walking dead person to say this right here. Really? Oh yeah, I think that too. And you know what your spirit says? You do? Oh yeah. So now that monkey that was on your shoulder is now in your head. They can tell you, you go down the street 2/10 of a mile, turn right, the building's gonna be right there. You're gonna drive 5 miles past it because something in your head say you know where it's at. Mind you, you ain't never been there now. Then you're going to get turned around and talk about everybody. But all you had to do was come and learn, plant and water, make sure the temperature is right, and your seed and your harvest will germinate. Because let me say something to you. If you're always eating out of somebody else's hand, they feeding you what they want you to eat. The God you serve can develop you that you can plant your own, and he will bless your hands. Did we find that scripture? Lean not to, not lean not, but it says above all things get ye understanding. Because the walking dead, they never disagree. You never see two dead people. You never see two faithless people having a battle. They agree. And once your flesh, your body, can get control of your mind, they exclude your spirit and they go do what they want to do. And then when your body and your mind are not willing to pay the price and the penalty for what it has done and it has said, now you want to run back to God and ask God to jump on the wagon and fix your mess. God is not trying to fix your mess. He's trying to fix your spirit. If you get your spirit right, you'll fix your mess. It says wisdom, this is out of Proverbs 4:7. Wisdom is the what? Do we know what makes up wisdom? You know how wisdom is formed? Through trial and error that becomes experience. And out of experience and knowledge that comes in the intellect, the intelligence, and the concentration. These things are what birth wisdom that now is led by experience, that causes a person to be able to have the pros, the cons, the possibilities, the unpossibilities, and the percentage. It says wisdom is what? See, people are functioning in life with no principles. Anytime that our faith is negotiable, we will always lose. Wisdom is the principal thing, not things. Therefore, get wisdom, and with all thy getting, you can't get an understanding if you're not willing to listen. And most people are not willing to listen because they have trust issues. God bless you. I'll see you soon.